According to TMZ, Kobe Bryant and at least 3 other people were in his private helicopter when the crash happened. I want to be very clear here. Fox has not been able to independently confirm this just yet, but TMZ and other local outlets are reporting that Kobe Bryant died in this helicopter crash. The LA County Sheriff's Office confirming that 5 people died in a helicopter crash in Calabasas, California, but they have not said who exactly was on that helicopter. So right now there is an intense response around that scene. Fire trucks are there, lots of law enforcement officials, the NTSB on the way. Kobe Bryant, of course, widely regarded as one of the greatest basketball players of all time. He is just perhaps one of the biggest stars in all of Los Angeles. He played his entire 20-year career with the LA Lakers. He won 5 NBA championships. And now, by all of these reports, it appears that Kobe Bryant has passed away in this helicopter crash. TMZ is reporting that this was Kobe Bryant's private helicopter. Like I said, the LA County Sheriff's Office and whatnot, other local law enforcement on the scene have not confirmed exactly who this helicopter belonged to or even if Kobe Bryant was on board. But just a huge blow for the entire basketball community and, of course, Kobe Bryant's family, and for the 4 other people that are believed to have been in that helicopter as well. The LA County Sheriff's Office confirming, like I said, 5 people died in this crash, including Kobe Bryant, according to TMZ. And I believe in just a moment you're going to see some cell phone video. Here it is. So this is video of the scene, what we're seeing in Calabasas, California. TMZ reporting that there was some kind of fire on the aircraft, the helicopter, and that's why it went down. But you can see another helicopter overhead, the smoke obviously coming from the scene of this crash in Calabasas, California, not far from where Kobe Bryant, largely believed to be one of the greatest basketball players of all times, spent so many years playing, 20 years playing for the LA Lakers. We're going to go ahead right now and bring in Jim Gray. He is a well-known sports broadcaster and Fox News contributor. Jim, gosh, as you're watching these images, if these reports from TMZ and other local outlets are true, Kobe Bryant dead at age 41. Your thoughts?
Well, it's just shocking, and it's heartbreaking for me. I'm just getting this news, and very sad. I've known Kobe his whole life, covered his entire career. Personally, very, very fond of him. In fact, I love Kobe and his family, and it's just very, very sad and tragic. He still had a lot to put forth in the public eye. He was very heavily invested in telling children's stories and storytelling as he moved on from his basketball life. Won an Academy Award a year or so ago for a documentary, and it's just a terrible story and a tragic ending to a man who was not only a great basketball player, but a tremendous father and had done so much for a lot of folks.
I know this is so early on in the investigation, but have you heard anything from his family since you were close to them? I mean, do we know if, heaven forbid, they were on that helicopter with him, or is it just too soon to say?
I have none of this information and details. The only information that I've gotten is from what I read on TMZ and you know, tens of dozens of texts that have come through in the last few minutes about what has gone on in phone calls. So I don't have any of that information, and no, I haven't heard from anybody.
Understood. This just happened, so not a problem. Tell me a little bit about Kobe Bryant, the basketball player. I mean, even if you didn't follow basketball all that closely, you know who Kobe Bryant is. I mean, just one of the all-time greatest players of all times. What are you going to remember him for on the court?
I'm going to remember him for his dedication, his determination, his myopic view of wanting to win. That was foremost in his personality. He was a competitor, a fierce competitor, He had a drive, a determination through hard work, and that dedication to wanting to be the best. His father, Jelly Bean Joe Bryant, was a player in the NBA for the 76ers and for the San Diego Clippers. So Kobe grew up learning from not only his father, but seeing all the greats that his father was able to play with, including Dr. J, Julius Erving, Lionel Hollins, World Be Free, and just a lot of players that are household names that Kobe saw, and then he grew up idolizing and watching Michael Jordan, and then got to come into the league and play against Jordan famously in an all-star game early in his career. And just passed the torch last night when LeBron James passed him on the third all-time leading scorer list, and was so gracious and humble in doing so with LeBron. Kobe Bryant is on the Mount Rushmore of greatest basketball players ever. And he's sitting up there with Michael Jordan and LeBron James, and Will Chamberlain, and Magic Johnson, and others, Larry Bird. But he is he's going to be very, very sorely missed.
I like that, the Mount Rushmore of basketball players. We're getting additional confirmations. Variety is now confirming the report from TMZ, and we're learning a little bit more about exactly what may have happened. Kobe Bryant was apparently traveling from Newport Beach, California, to the Staples Center in downtown Los Angeles in what is believed to be his personal helicopter when the aircraft caught on fire. At least 3 other people were on board when the helicopter crashed. Pardon my ignorance here, Jim, but did Kobe live in the Calabasas area or in the Newport Beach area?
Newport Beach, and he would regularly travel by helicopter to Staples, even when he was playing. It was quite well known for doing that, and the mode of transportation for him. So it enabled him and his family to live, which could be, anywhere from a 45-minute, I guess, to an hour and a half, 2-hour drive, depending on traffic in Southern California, to get to downtown Los Angeles from Newport Beach, just depending upon what time he did it. So he was regularly in a helicopter. Can't tell you the number of hours, but it's got to be up in the thousands of hours that he had been in helicopters. So it was not anything new for him.
And right now, our viewers are looking at videos from the scene. You can see another helicopter obviously circling the site of this crash. Fire trucks rushing to the scene. We know that the NTSB is also now en route. And just a little bit of perspective in terms of Kobe Bryant's dominance on the basketball court. Just last night, LeBron James passed Kobe Bryant for 3rd on the NBA's career scoring list. You hear the names LeBron James, Kobe Bryant. I mean, they really are, as you said, Jim, on the Mount Rushmore of basketball greats. But off the court, tell us a little bit about the Kobe Bryant that perhaps not everybody got to see as up close as you did.
Well, Kobe was deeply dedicated to whatever task was in front of him, very much committed to his family. They just gave birth to, he and his wife, Vanessa, she gave birth earlier this summer to their 4th girl. He was
their
very
4th
involved.
child, you said?
4th child, yes, all girls. It was the whole household is little girls, and his wife, Vanessa. And, he was very committed to them, would regularly go to WNBA games with his daughter. One of his older daughters is a basketball player, and so shown tremendous promise. So his family was very, very important to him. He was very committed, as I said, to his new projects, which were storytelling. He wanted to tell all of these stories, and really had stepped away from basketball in a way and moved on to the next phase of his life, and stayed close with the Lakers. The Lakers general manager, Rob Pelinka, his longtime agent, took over as the general manager a couple of years ago. I'm sure he stayed in close contact with the game, but wasn't trying to put his imprint on it in terms of trying to own or manage a team. but stayed in close touch with the Lakers and Pelinka. And it's just, it's hard to come up with words right now, quite frankly, is that summing up the life of a man who was, I don't know Kobe's age, but he's a very young man. But I don't know what is Kobe, 41, 42?
41 years old. And, Jim, we're learning a little bit more about the environment surrounding the cause of this crash. It happened shortly before 10 a.m. local time in California. And the Sheriff's Department is saying that the crash ignited a brush fire, which made it difficult for firefighters and emergency personnel to get to the aircraft. And you can see it. I mean, it's tough to see in all that smoke and fog. And apparently there was quite a bit of foggy conditions in the hills above Calabasas when the helicopter went down, but clearly it must have been difficult flying conditions for the pilot, but also clearly continues to be very difficult conditions for the first responders to try to get to and assess the scene. I just like to reset for folks who are just now tuning in. We have learned, and there are reports, that Kobe Bryant, one of the greatest basketball players of all times, has reportedly died in a helicopter crash along with 4 other people. The helicopter crash happened in Calabasas. We believe that Kobe Bryant was flying on his personal helicopter from his home to a location that is still to be determined, and at some point there was what appeared to be a fire on the helicopter, and that brought the helicopter down to the point where you are seeing right now a thick plume of smoke coming from the hills of Calabasas, California, on a very foggy day there. And Jim, it is just, it's hard to put words to. It's really hard to believe this is one of the greatest basketball players that ever lived, and also just a giant in the Los Angeles, California area. I mean, it's hard to think of people that were more beloved by people who live in Los Angeles than Kobe Bryant.
Well, you said that exactly correct. He won 5 championships as a Laker. He was a man who was always going to be tied to that organization and to the NBA. No one will ever forget the championships that he won with Shaquille O'Neal, and then they had a very famous parting of the ways. And Shaquille left the organization. Kobe had asked to be traded. Dr. Jerry Buss, who owned the team, kept him there, and he went on to win 2 more championships, combining with Pau Gasol. And Kobe, to a certain extent, wanted to be able to show that he was not just the guy who was going to win with Shaq. And so they had a very famous divorce, and they've patched it up quite well in recent years, both recognizing that they were young and that they were probably much better together than they were alone. But Kobe did prove that to himself, winning 2 championships. Phil Jackson was the coach at that time. He had come back into coaching after his stint with the Chicago Bulls. And then Kobe Bryant on his final evening, when he retired a few years ago, put up 60-plus points in his final game at the Staples Center, coming back from an Achilles injury, which would have ended many people's career. But Kobe worked really, really hard with Dr. Neil Elatrage, came back and didn't want to go out. And he was a remarkable basketball player, and
such resilience, Jim. And in addition to all of these stats that we could rattle off about Kobe Bryant, the basketball player, as you said, Kobe Bryant now survived by his wife Vanessa and their 4 daughters, Gianna, Natalia, and Bianca, and their newborn daughter, Capri. Such a terrible story that we are learning about, and now ESPN has confirmed that Kobe Bryant, one of the all-time basketball greats, has died in a helicopter crash in Calabasas, California. The cause still under investigation. First responders just getting there. The NTSB is on its way, and we believe 4 other people were also killed in this helicopter crash. But one of the all-time greatest basketball players, dead today at just 41 years old. Very sorry to bring you the news.